Hi everyone, this is day 7 of our 3-week Body Sculpt Challenge. If you're just joining in for the class, welcome. Today we are focused on full body stretch. Very relaxing day. If you've been doing the course with me, then we are due for a time to really relax and stretch our bodies. See you in class. Let's inhale up. And exhale and fold down. Maybe some of you need to bend the knees a bit and then come on up, inhale and exhale. And as we get warmer, we will start straightening the legs. And if you're warm enough or flexible enough, you can go ahead and do so and keep those legs straight. Inhale and exhale and come forward. Yes, there we go. One more time, inhale. And exhale, come on up, and then relax those arms. Go ahead and take one foot back, grab that foot, balance, stretch. Just a couple standing stretches. We'll keep it real simple today. And then take it to the other side, stretching that quad, balancing, stretching the top of the thigh. Pull those abdominals in, lift them up, tuck, 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 maybe round your spine a bit so that we can feel that stretch in the quadricep. Open up the shoulder. And then good, and take it to the other side. One more time. Lifting those abdominals, opening up the chest, opening up the quad. Good, and take it to the other side. Really relax today, opening up that body. And then relax that foot, big inhale up, and exhale, coming forward, maybe with bent leg, maybe with straight leg. And then inhale up, exhale, and this time we'll stay down. Exhale forward, and then let's come down to all fours. So I'm going to turn over and come down, knees right underneath the hips, hands right underneath the shoulders, into a cat-cow. Let's drop the spine, inhale up, raise that chin up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as we round the spine down. Round those shoulders, get everything, every single bit. Inhaling up. And exhale, pull that navel into the spine, round those shoulders. And inhale up, let's do this 2 more times. And exhale, pull that navel into the spine, rounding. And then inhale up. And exhale, rounding everything out. And then relax to neutral spine. Go ahead and keep your hips up, and let's widen those hands, maybe as wide as the mat or wider than shoulder width. And every time we're going to try and drop our chest down to the ground. Keep taking those arms forward without pressing your hips back too much. And you'll feel a nice stretch in the chest. You can either drop all the way to the ground. Maybe if you have a block, you can go ahead and put your forehead on the block. And if you can touch the floor, that's great. And if your chest is touching the floor, that's even better. We're gonna start to push those hips back, walk those hands back, and we're gonna try that again straight forward with the arms. Breathing. And then reaching those arms forward and dropping that chest slowly to the ground. Don't push too hard. We're just lengthening the body, and we're just starting out. And then come forward onto those forearms. Walk yourself back. A couple more cat-cows. Let's inhale up, arch the spine. And exhale and round. And inhale again. And exhaling around. And then this time come to neutral, and we're gonna turn those toes down, sit back into child's pose. Widen those knees, lengthen those arms, and sit back. Really drop the hips down, stretching that lower back, stretching the arms, and maybe even getting to relax the head on the mat. Continue deep breaths, and then go ahead and take your arms to one side. Just trying to shift that opposite hip, opposite the reach of the arms. Feeling that stretch in the arm and the side of the body. And then take it to the other side. Reaching, and stretching and pulling that opposite hip away from the arms. Deep breaths. Focus is just in opening the body. We don't have to push too hard. And then come back to center. Sit back one more time. Really lengthening those arms and pulling those hips down to the ground. Relaxing out the neck. Great, and come on up. And let's just widen those legs a little bit. So we're going to take them as wide as we can. Okay, stretching, going into a stretch on the inner thighs and the back. Okay, if you can put them down like this, great. If it feels uncomfortable for you, then go ahead back into child's pose. Okay, and we're going to lengthen those arms again. Maybe most of you will be on your forearms. Maybe you can lengthen those arms a little bit more. And as we do so, we're gonna try and sit back, push our butt back, push those glutes back towards the heels. And feeling that inner thigh stretch with that chest stretch, maybe even a little bit of the back, and certainly the hips. Not pushing too hard. Continuing to move, maybe move through the stretch. Walking back onto those forearms and maybe attempting to sit back a little bit more, rocking through those hips. And pressing back. Breathing on through. And then we're going to turn those toes under, walk those knees in. And we're going to come up onto our elbows, stretching a little bit deeper into the back and into the triceps. On those elbows, hands in prayer position. And we're going to keep our glutes up and sit back, almost like you're touching the top of your arm down onto the mat or onto the floor. You're going to really try to stretch those arms out. Stretch the chest and the shoulders. Relax the head on the floor if you can. Relax it on a block or a pillow if you've got them, if you need a little bit more support. And then just keep that breathing going. And lengthen those arms. Come back onto those elbows, walk yourself back, walk yourself up all the way, and let's go into the hips. So take one leg forward, just moving through these stretches. One leg forward, one leg back, lift through the abdominals, and we're gonna come down to the inside of that foot that's forward. Hold it there, moving into a hip stretch. Some of you are going to go as far as keeping those hands down. Some of you are going to be able to go ahead all the way onto those forearms. Whatever you do, make sure, stay with me, make sure you're feeling it in this hip, in this outside hip. This outside hip. So we're holding down, and I'm pretty tight. So I can't get onto my forearms. So keep that back straight, and I'm gonna stay right here onto my hands. This is good enough for me. So hold it there. Go to where you feel the right and gentle amount of tension for a good stretch. Tension release, I should say. Hold it there. And then come on up, hip flexor stretch. Let's lift those abdominals, almost like you're dragging that knee forward. Lift the abdominals up so we get a nice stretch in that hip flexor. Right through here, really lift. And then let's help it out a little bit and take one arm up, same arm as leg that's back up, and bend over to the side, just opening it up a little bit more. And then if you can, let's go ahead and side bend the other way, just to mix it up a little bit. Bring your hands forward if you can, and try to straighten that front leg. Really straighten it and try to keep that back straight. Make sure you're not rounding too much. Straighten that leg and straighten that back. Now moving around so that you can see what I'm doing. Nice stretch in the back of that leg. Really breathe. Flex those toes back if you can, and try to keep that back straight, keeping the stretch in the back of the legs. And then put that foot down, bend that knee one more time. Hands to the inside of the thighs, maybe sliding that leg as far back as you can get it, and inching closer to the floor. Feeling a stretch in that hip. And then come on up, hip flexor stretch. Drag that knee forward, lift the abdominals. Feel that stretch in the hip flexors, and go ahead and take same arm as leg up. And then take it the other way. Side bend. And then bring those arms forward, adjust your body. Sitting back and straightening the front leg so that you can feel a stretch in the back of that leg that's forward. And let's flex those toes back. And then come forward a bit, balance, and then switch legs. And let's do those same series of stretches on this side. Coming forward, sliding that back leg straight, keeping this knee bent, and feeling a stretch in this hip. Maybe going down to the forearms, maybe staying on those hands. And then come on up, stretching the hip flexor, lift those abdominals, feeling a stretch right there in the leg that's back, top of the leg that's back, that hip flexor, that region gets so tight when we're doing so much work. And then take same arm as same leg and bend to the opposite side, really reaching up, lifting, straightening up the torso, and then take it to the other side. Nice bend. And then lean forward, placing your hands down on the ground, and then try straightening that leg. That's forward. Try straightening the back as much as your flexibility will allow, and feeling a stretch in the back of that leg. Keep it breathing. You can definitely move through the stretch, bending and straightening if you like, just to keep loosening it up. And then when you're ready, go ahead and flex those toes back. Bend that foot and let's go back to that hip stretch with the hands inside the foot. Stretching on through. Really trying to reach down to the ground onto those forearms. I'm not quite there and I want to be a little bit more gentle, so I'm going to stay on my hands. And then we're going to come up, stretch out the hip flexor, lifting through the abdominals, pressing almost like you're trying to drag that leg forward, that kind of feeling. And then hold it there. And go ahead and take that same arm as same leg and bend over to the side, feeling that length. And then take it to the other side. It helps if you've got blocks or something to hold on to, but if you can balance, that's great. And then go ahead and surround the foot and sit back, straightening that front leg. Holding there. Really feeling that hamstring back of the leg. Good, and breathe. Try straightening out the back as much as possible and finding that those tight areas, you know, it's not an exact science. Everybody's body is different. Find what's tight for you and let's get to it. Flex those toes back. Ooh, bringing that calf right into the stretch. And then bring those toes forward and let's go back to that hip stretch one more time. Maybe getting a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe, oh, I'm almost there. And I don't want to push too hard. So listen to your body and what it needs. And then come back up, lifting those abdominals, feeling that stretch right in the hip flexor. Hold it there. Deep breaths always. Just keep that breathing continuous. And same arm as leg that's back, comes over, reaches over to the side, and we'll feel that length. And then go ahead and take it to the other side. Nice side bend. If you're more flexible, you can go ahead to the floor. I'm going to stay right here. And then both hands surround the front foot. Sit back, stretching that hamstring. And the entire back of the leg. You'll feel quite a bit, maybe even a little bit of the back. If you're feeling too much of the back, let's try straightening that back. Get it into that hamstring. That's what we want to target right now. Flex the toes back. Keep holding that stretch. And then place that down, get yourself ready, pull that leg back. And let's go into an all fours position. Again, we're gonna go into a shoulder stretch. We're gonna thread one arm through between the hand and the knee, the opposite hand and knee, and our palm's gonna stay up and we're gonna inch down our head towards the ground. Okay, trying to feel a stretch in this shoulder of the arm that's down. So adjust your arm to where it needs to be, to where you feel the stretch. And then if you can, if you need to hold on, you can hold on to the floor. If not, then you can go ahead and take that arm behind your back. Try to really relax the neck, relax that arm. Gentle shoulder stretch. And then go ahead and take that top arm back down. Use it to push yourself up. And then let's thread the needle the other way. So we're going to go ahead and put that arm between the hand, opposite hand and opposite leg. And then adjust so that you find where you need to feel it in the shoulder. And then take that top arm maybe onto the back. Really trying to relax into the stretch. And then come on back up, continuing with those arm stretches, going to a prone chest stretch. So we're going to come all the way down to the ground. Sliding those legs straight, and we're going to have our arms at 90-degree angles. Okay, and it's really going to be one arm that's going to stay at a 90-degree angle. The other one, and I'll show you this way, I'm going to bring it down so I have some leverage, and I'm pressing my shoulder into the ground, and I'm going to open my body up. Some of you are going to be able to open so far up that your foot is going to touch the ground, and you're going to be more like this. But this shoulder has to be down, so let's try to keep it down. And others of you that are a little bit tighter like me, you're gonna barely come up off the ground. So keep holding that form. Keep holding that form. Feeling a stretch right here in this shoulder and chest area. And we can lay the head down, try to relax everything as much as possible and not push too hard. And then let's take it to the other side. Just rotating that body out. And again, some of you are going to be flexible enough where your foot's going to come all the way to the ground. I'm not there, so I'm going to keep my legs down. And I'm going to keep trying to open up my chest. Key is to keep that shoulder on the ground. Hold it there, breathe through the chest, breathing with the stretch. And then come back forward onto your stomach. I'll go this way first. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the arm straight, one arm straight, and we're going to open up that way. Just for a moment. And then we're going to come back the other side, straight arm, and open up that way. Just prepping for some movement. And then we're going to come to the side. Onto your side, lay down onto that arm, onto that side, palm facing up. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up those arms. So we're going to reach, take the top arm up and around. And guess what? Once it comes to this point, I'm going to put both feet down on the ground, shift down, and then rotate that arm over the top of the body and to the other side. We're gonna open up that arm over the top of the body like a windmill and around. Do you see how my knees are going? Ha, found them. Just moving through the chest. Moving through the chest and the hips and the back. Like a nice windmill, really opening everything up. And then eventually, we're gonna stay right here, like we did in the beginning, and let's keep the knees forward, and then open up that back arm, open it up. Maybe it's hovering, maybe it's on the ground. If you need more support, you can take that top leg forward a little bit for a moment. And then just find the plane of the tightest area and let that arm open up, that chest open up. And then bring it forward. Bring it back around, place both feet down on the ground as we rotate to the other side, and we do the same thing. We broaden that hand, that arm out, and maybe I'm gonna pull my top knee in so I just get more support, and I'm just gonna let that arm hang and open up the chest. Nothing fancy, just trying to find what plane, what area I can get the most out of my stretch. And maybe you want to move it around a little bit, and some of you are going to be totally down on the ground, and that's okay. Keep pulling forward so you get that stretch. And then roll, bring it all the way back. Wave one more time, waving on through. Just keeping it fluid. Breathing with it. And then coming back to center, laying fully onto the back, planting those feet down on the ground, going into a glute bridge, pressing the lower back into the ground, lifting the body up, lifting those hips up, and then let's focus on the chest even more, clasping those hands and pressing them down into the ground. Try not arching that spine. Keep the spine straight or neutral. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and try to get those palms together, hands together. Press the neck into the back, into the floor. And then relax everything down. Let's go into a pretzel stretch. So we're gonna take one ankle on top of the thigh, bring those legs up. If you can grab underneath the leg, then go ahead and pull and do so. See where you can maximize that stretch in the hip, and it'll even bring in the back. Try to relax the body. Feel that stretch in the hip. More flexible people can go ahead and grab the top of the shin. Make sure if you're pulling like this in any way or hanging, then that it's probably best to just stay right here or even stay right here, trying to help that leg come forward. Maybe putting this foot against a wall, getting some support. And let's drop that foot down now. Keeping the cross, let's go ahead and widen those arms and then take the legs to one side. Let's say to the same side as the foot that was down on the ground. And we can take that hand, opposite arm, opposite knee, pulling it down a little bit, just if it helps, give you the stretch, give you a deeper stretch in the hip. And let's come back to center, fully cross the leg, and then go ahead and let those knees drop to the opposite side. So that top leg is pulling that bottom leg down, and you should feel a stretch in your hip. And you can go ahead and use the hands to push it down, or you can relax those hands and let that top leg do the work. Make sure not to arch the spine. Make sure you're just You're just focused on feeling that stretch in that hip, and not taking it too far into the back. Come back to center, switch the legs. So opposite leg, ankles on top, bring them in. And again, put your foot against the wall or something if you need to, or grab the foot and the knee. If you're not as flexible, if you can grab behind the supporting leg, then go ahead and do so. And if you're really flexible, you'll grab at the shin. Try to keep everything else relaxed. Stretching out those hips. Being very calm. And just finding those areas of tightness. So we release them a little bit before we start our week again. And go ahead and let that foot drop to the floor. And then we're going to open up our arms and let those legs fall to the side of the foot that was on the floor. Maybe taking the opposite arm as the leg that's on top and pulling it down a little bit, just gently, not too intensely, and feeling that stretch in that hip. Deep breathing, more like continuous breathing. And then come back to center, fully cross that leg if you can, and then go ahead, or as much as you can, and let that fall to the opposite side. This one's a little bit tighter on me, and if you've been following the course or our challenge, you're pretty tight probably this week because we've been doing something every day. And if you're newer to working out or coming back in, your body has definitely responded. So let's really try and relax it. Today is focused on relaxing it, opening it up, and getting it set for a new week, whether you're in the challenge or not. And then gently come back to center. Both feet on the ground. Take a breath. Let's pull both knees into the chest, hug it in, and then rock on up. Okay, moving into some folds. We are nearing our end. So we're gonna take our legs forward, flex our feet, straighten our arms up, and then go ahead and lean forward, keeping the back straight as you can. I know you feel a big stretch in the back of the legs, back of the knees. Let's press the back of the knees down, and then go ahead and release. Maybe grabbing the feet, grabbing behind the knees, behind the calves, wherever gives you the best stretch that doesn't make you feel like you're really straining. Good, gentle stretch. Trying to straighten that back and not letting it round too much. Really straighten, straighten, straighten. Lengthen on through. Deep breaths. And then slide one leg in. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of a mild twist. We're gonna hug that knee and rotate our body over to the side of that knee. And then let that knee drop out to the side. Flex those toes on that straight leg, and let's go ahead and fold half. So we're coming forward, really trying to press that back of the knee down, that leg fully into the ground, and reaching only as far as we go, keeping that back straight and not taking the stretch too far into the back. That'll only strain the back. And let's come forward, stretching forward as much as we can. And then to the side. So we're going to lean our arm into that straight leg And open up that opposite arm, going way over the top towards those toes. So not like this, up and over. And then relax it. We're going to lean away from the straight leg and either open up that quad this way like we did in the beginning, standing, or we're going to lay it down on the ground, toes turned under, and try to drop that knee down to the ground, laying back. Feeling a deeper stretch in that quadricep. So make sure you find what option works for you. Some of you are going to be able to get onto that back forearm as well, onto both forearms down on the ground. And come on up, straighten both legs again. One more forward fold, come forward. Deep breaths. And then bend the opposite knee. Hug it in. Twist around towards it, feeling a stretch in the back and the hips. Ankle a little bit for you. Really try to relax the neck as much as you can. And then go ahead and let that knee drop down to the ground. And let's go ahead and fold this way, half fold. Really trying to straighten that spine as much as you can and feeling a nice stretch in back of the leg. And again, stretching, holding, pulling wherever feels comfortable. And then come into the center, stretch here. Trying to get that chest, stomach to the ground. And then let the same arm as straight leg come to the inside of it and lay down, maybe laying the forearm all the way down, and take that top arm up and over. Oh, nice stretch for that side, back, hip. We're trying to touch those toes. Maybe some of you already are there, and others like me are, we're trying to open it up as much as we can, but it should feel nice either way. Keep it breathing. And then relax and lean away from that straight leg. Pull it up. Grab that ankle or foot and feel a stretch in that quad. And maybe placing that foot down on the ground. Placing that foot down on the ground and leaning back. Making sure this foot doesn't get crampy. If it starts to cramp, then what you'll do is just that stretch holding that ankle. Getting a little bit deeper into the quad, into those hip flexors now that we're a bit warmer, and some of you are going to be able to drop this arm all the way, maybe even lay back all the way. Depends on your flexibility. And then come on up, both feet together, cobbler stretch here, final set of stretches here, final stretch. Grab maybe under the feet, open up those feet like a book maybe you'd feel more comfortable grabbing at the ankle and press those knees down. Some of you are gonna be really inflexible and you're gonna need to straighten those feet forward a little bit more. And some of you are going to be super flexible and able to put that stomach all the way to the ground. So wherever you are, focus on feeling that, that stretch in the hips, in the back, in the inner thighs. Big time stretch here. Nice release. Deep breaths. then relax it and shake it out a little bit. Okay, we made it through. Let's get ready for a great week. Feel strong. All right, big inhale and exhale. Well done.